I'm Tiffany Weeks, your local luxury broker, and over my career, I have helped more buyers than I can remember, hundreds of them. And today we are going to talk about some of the top mistakes that buyers make when they're moving to Orlando. At the top of the list is market and timing mistakes. One of the things people don't realize about Orlando, our market is hyper localized. There are so many mini markets within it. For example, Ocoee. It is a small area similar to Windermere and actually a stone's throw. But in Ocoee, you can find a single family home for the mid to high 200,000s. In Windermere, the cheapest single family home is $495,000. Those two cities are this close, but the pricing differences are this far apart. The markets here are hyper local, so you need to understand which markets make sense for you. And then there is timing. I have clients all the time who will say, hey, I want to get started with my search. I want to start looking at some properties. And when we talk through their timeline, they're planning to move 6 months out. Now, it's great to start early. It's great to do your research, and we can start to narrow down things like neighborhoods, school districts, specific cities. But when it comes down to specific listings, that house is most likely not going to be here in 6 months. Last week in Orange County, the average days on market was 75 days, which is really high for spring. We have some unique things happening in our political market, in our financial markets, and so those things are impacting the real estate market. But even in a volatile state, 75 days on market is the average as of last week. So looking at homes 6 months out and expecting that those same homes will be there is a bit outside of the realm of possibility. You got to understand your timing. So definitely ask your agents right now, what is the average days on market? You want to understand and make sure that the home you're looking at and fall in love with is actually going to be ready when you are. Another huge mistake that buyers make when moving to Orlando is not taking into account the total cost of ownership. Orlando is one of those cities that more often than not, you are going to have an HOA payment. I have clients all the time ask me, well, what can I find for an HOA under $100? You are going to find a mature, much older neighborhood. And sometimes those aren't the neighborhoods that people want to live in. So you need to understand it is most likely that you'll have an HOA payment. Insurance is much more expensive in Florida than some of the other states in the South. So there are different things that impact your total cost of ownership that people don't take into account. If you get your pre-approval before talking to your real estate professional, you may get a pre-approval not taking into account those additional expenses like property taxes, insurance, your HOA payment, which significantly impact how much house you can afford. You definitely need to think through that. A huge mistake that buyers make is thinking that they do not need an agent when they're doing new construction. One of the biggest mistakes that you can make. Why? Because number one, you can negotiate those builder contracts. I have gotten some amazing deals from my clients with new construction. Number two, you need someone to help you navigate new construction that has your best interest in mind. For example, helping you schedule those inspections that are independent. You definitely want to have an independent inspection when you're doing new construction, not just trust the builder. You absolutely need an agent when you are navigating new construction. And one of the things that buyers need to realize is that you don't A, save any money by doing it by yourself, and B, you're not doing anything but opening yourself up for a ton of mistakes on one of the biggest assets that people own. Definitely have a real estate professional with your interest at heart when you are doing new construction. Another mistake that a lot of buyers make is not factoring in their lifestyle needs. For example, you need to factor in your commute. If you look at a neighborhood at 11 a.m. and you fall in love with it, you also need to understand what the traffic patterns and the flow looks like because it impacts your everyday life. The number of clients that I have that buy a house that they love and end up selling it and moving to another neighborhood because the commute is just outrageous happens so often. You definitely need to factor in your commute, traffic. You need to factor in school districts, even if you don't have kids today, right? I have a lot of couples that start a family while living in a home and end up selling and moving because they didn't take into consideration school districts or they thought it wasn't going to be important for them. You absolutely need to factor in your lifestyle needs, not just for the moment, but also for the future. Today, we talked about just a few of the mistakes that people make when buying homes in Orlando. We can definitely add to the list, I'm sure. So, if there are some ones that you made, drop it in the comments and also subscribe. I would love to connect with you. And hey, if you're not interested in making any of those mistakes, Diamond Real Estate can help you.